You ever crack the mic and not know exactly what you're going to be talking about today? Today might be that day. The Keys Dan Show. It's the Keys Dan Show. I need a new theme for the Keys Dan Show. You might hear news. You might learn stuff. You never know what you're going to get on the Keys Dan Show. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, The Keys Dan Show. Or at least it's one of my podcasts. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? DJLittleRock.com. What did I say? DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you could have me. Yeah, me at your next event. I like to party with the people. Does it look kind of weird? As I have the V-split kind of set up with the background missing. You know, I know a lot of people are using Zoom and Skype, and I'm using V-split to do the video, and it kind of invisibles the background, so it makes me look like, I guess I'm kind of ghosting. If I kind of move too quick, it looks like a ghost. If I put my hands up, oh, you can see that pretty good. But then as I move away, oh, it goes off into the ether. Look, it's ghost. Maybe I should put the background that's behind me. Why is my video background fishies? I like fishies. Yeah, I like fishies. I said it. Kind of looks like a tropical background. I'm wearing my Hawaiian shirt, my Hilo Hattie Hawaiian shirt, straight from Oahu. I bought about 20 of these years ago, and I have a few left. I have maybe 6 Hilo Hatties left from that original collection of 20. I wore them down to the ground, baby. So, yeah. Well, here I am. On a Sunday afternoon, it's 6 p.m. Central Time, the Keys Dan Show, my weekly roundup, just chilling like Gilligan out on the island. I think it looks weird. Everything's kind of ghosting. Maybe I'll put my background back, at least in the little area, and you can see what's behind me. There you go. There I am. I'm in the Radio What studios. And I can change backgrounds if I want. If I want to put, a picture of whatever behind me, I can do that. This technology, I'm learning about it. And then, if you want to learn how to do these things, I'm here to teach you. Once you get to a certain age and you've got enough experience, you need to start teaching people. That should be your lease in life, teaching the next generation how to do the things. Of course, I learn a lot from the future generations already. The next generation has already taught me so much, especially when I do the What Makes You Famous podcasts, and I do these interview shows, these long form interviews. You never know what's going to come out of that, because what I do is I'll talk to people, and a lot of times they'll come on the What Makes You Famous podcast because they're promoting something. They're trying to sell some of their wares, whatever that may be. I have a lot of artists that come on, and even a lot of store owners that come on, and that's the primary thing. But you can usually get through that promotional thing in about 15 minutes. But then I want to start picking brains. I want to start learning about people, learning what makes people tick. And that's one of the advantages I have, and one of the satisfying things that I have about doing the Keys Dan Show, the What Makes You Famous podcast, hashtag What Makes You Famous. Now, if I don't have somebody to talk to, I do another podcast called the What Makes You Smarter podcast, and that's where I'm trying to fill my brain with knowledge. So if you haven't checked those 2 podcasts out, What Makes You Famous, hashtag What Makes You Famous, that's where you listen to the stories of others, or if you want to tell your story, you can definitely do that. 501-470-6386 is the number you need to call. Keep that number in your pocket in case you need some stuff, or if you want to call in right now. I have the phone all dialed in and set up into the mixing board. So if you want to call me on the phone, 501-470-6386, and let me know what you're up to today, and you could be a part of the Keys Dan Show, my weekly program. Yeah, 6 p.m. Central Time. Just a little chance for me to chit chat with the people. Now, if you don't want to do a full hour-long, 2-hour-long podcast, you can always give me about 5 minutes right here and just let me know what you're up to. And, maybe let me know what you're thinking about things in the world. Today is June 21st, 2020, as I record this. It's Sunday, but it's a special Sunday, at least here in this part of the world. It's Father's Day, and I'm a father. I'm a proud father. I've got 2 girls, and they're wonderful girls. Now, one girl actually made me a grandpa. Am I getting that old? Whatever. I'm not that old. I'm 51 years old. Now, last year when I turned 50, I really celebrated it because I said, I'm 50. So my 14-year-old, she just mentioned that the demographic that she was exploring, I think the most valuable demographic is 18 to 49. So I think I missed that cutoff. I'm not that important anymore. I don't have all that much need to spend money on things. Although I do. I got some spendable income. Thankfully, I'm very happy about that. I work my booty to the bone. I think that's metaphorical. I have a whole lot of booty that I need to still work to the rest of the bone. But I digress, and I'll probably keep digressing as we go on. You put this microphone in front of me. I put this microphone in front of me, and I'm just going to chit chat. Now, I did mention it's Father's Day, and I looked it up on Wikipedia just to give you a little news on what Father's Day is and the origination of Father's Day, until someone wants to call in and be a part of the show and quiet me up for a few minutes, and I'll let you talk. It's happened before. I love it when somebody calls in and they give me their views on what's going on. They could take me in a whole nother direction. The Keys Dan Show. Father's Day is a celebration honoring fathers and celebrating fatherhood, paternal bonds, and the influence of fathers in society. The tradition was said to be started from a memorial service held for a large group of men who died in a mining accident in Monongah. I know I'm going to mispronounce that. Monong. Hey, if anybody's out there in West Virginia, let me know how you pronounce Monongah, 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 West Virginia in 1907. See, I had no idea. I'm learning things right here, right now with you, that Father's Day is started from tragedy, from a mining accident in 1907. It was first proposed by Sonora Dodd of Spokane, Washington in 1909. It is currently celebrated in the United States annually on the 3rd Sunday in June. Hey, that's today. History of Father's Day. Father's Day was inaugurated in the United States in the early 20th century. Wow, that seems so long ago. It's not that long ago. It was only 20 years ago. We were in the 20th century. Early in the 20th century to complement Mother's Day in celebrating fathers, fathering, and fatherhood. Father's Day was founded in Spokane, Washington at the YMCA in 1910 by Sonora Smart Dodd, who was born in Arkansas. Hey, that's where I'm at right now, Arkansas. Its first celebration was in the Spokane YMCA on June 19th, 1910. Her father, the Civil War veteran William Jackson Smart, was a single parent who raised his six children there. After hearing a sermon about Anna Jarvis's Mother's Day at Central Methodist Episcopal Church in 1909, she told her pastor that fathers should have a similar holiday honoring them. Although she initially suggested June 5th, her father's birthday, the pastors of the Spokane Ministerial Alliance did not have enough time to prepare their sermons, and the celebration was deferred to the third Sunday of June. Hey, it's funny how things start. It is. It really is funny how things start. I mean, that was out of necessity. They couldn't get their speech together in time, so that's what happened. They moved it. Hey, let's do it the third Sunday in June. Yeah, let's do that. That'll make it easier on everybody, mostly us. It did not have much success initially in the 1920s. Dodd stopped promoting the celebration because she was studying in the Art Institute of Chicago. Hey, Art Institute of Miami. I almost went there. I took a tour back when I was in high school back in Back in 1985, 86. I took a tour of the Art Institute of Chicago. I had an idea of maybe I would be some kind of fashion designer. Maybe. I'm kind of a fashion plate right now, but you knew that. Ooh, let me get some more light on the subject. There we go. Now you can see me. All right. And it faded into relative obscurity, even in Spokane. In the 1930s, Dodd returned to Spokane and started promoting the celebration again, raising awareness at a national level. She had the help of those trade groups that would benefit most from the holiday. For example, the manufacturers of ties, tobacco pipes, and any traditional present to fathers. Merchandising, baby. That's where the real money's made. Merchandising. Since 1936, she had the help of the Father's Day Council, founded by the New York Associated Menswear Retailers, to consolidate and systematize the commercial promotion. Americans resisted the holiday during a few decades, perceiving it as just an attempt by merchants to replicate the commercial success of Mother's Day. And newspapers frequently featured cynical and sarcastic attacks and jokes. But the trade groups did not give up. They kept promoting it and even incorporated the jokes into their adverts. And they eventually succeeded. By the mid-1980s, all the way to the 1980s, the Fathers Council wrote that Father's Day has become a second Christmas for all men's gift-oriented industries. Merchandising, capitalism, that's what it's all about, baby. It's not about dads. It's not about celebrating daddies. It's about selling those ties and tobacco products. Oh, man, that's great. I like capitalism. It's good. You know, you can make it. If you work hard enough, you will make it. That's the dream. That's what it's always been spun to me when I was a younger man, and it seems to work out. I've been working hard, and I make a good living, I guess. Not a great living, but a decent living, and enough to take care of my family. We live simply, and that's I'm very happy with my family and our position in life. I mean, you always want more, and I could use a little more. And with capitalism, you might get more if you work harder. So there. Let's see. A bill to accord national recognition of the holiday was introduced in Congress in 1913. In 1916, President Woodrow Wilson went to Spokane to speak in a Father's Day celebration and wanted to make it official, but Congress resisted, fearing that it would become commercialized. Fears. The fears have come true. I mean, hey, it all becomes commercialized. If somebody can make a buck off of it, they're gonna. Let's see. U.S. President Calvin Coolidge recommended in 1924 that the day be observed by the nation, but stopped short of issuing a national proclamation. Two earlier attempts to formally recognize the holiday had been defeated by Congress. In 1957, Maine Senator Margaret Chase Smith. No, Maine Senator. How did I read that Marine? I got to get my eyeballs checked again. Maybe I should just start wearing the glasses. I think I have a pair behind me. Anyway, Maine Senator Margaret Chase Smith wrote a proposal accusing Congress of ignoring fathers for 40 years while honoring mothers, thus singing out just one of our two parents. In 1966, President Lyndon B. Johnson issued the first presidential proclamation honoring fathers, designating the third Sunday in June as Father's Day. 6 years later, the day was made a permanent national holiday when President Richard Nixon, I am not a crook, signed it into law in 1972. Hey, excellent. So now the fathers get honored. Not quite as much as the mothers, because Mother's Day is a big holiday, commercial or otherwise. That's when you call your mamas. Now, you out there, if you still got your fathers around, have you called your dad? I called I texted my stepdad, and I guess I texted my father-in-law and my brother, who's a daddy. So I texted all the immediate fathers, and my bestest buddy, John Canada out there. I texted him. He texted me first, though, so it was a text back. All right, but any fathers out there, you want to give me your views? Did you get a tie or any tobacco products or a barbecue grill, one of the essential dad items? Did you get some tools? I remember one year I didn't have any cash. I'm a little kid. I don't have any cash. So my stepdad, he needed a Father's Day present. What did I give him? I gave him one of his tools wrapped up in a paper sack. Yeah, one of his own tools. And it still had a little bit of grease on it from where I couldn't really wipe it down. So yeah, he had one of his own tools given to him on Father's Day. Sorry, Ray. He was a good dude. Hey, Ashley Taylor's in the house. She says, love this. Now, if you notice on the Facebook Live, you'll see there's the comments from Facebook will show up on the video itself. So when I repost this on YouTube a little bit later, you will live out there forever and ever. How about that? Now, if you want to give me a call, you can, 501-470-6386, and you can be a part of the show. You don't have to give me a whole lot of time, but if you want to call for like 30 seconds or a minute or two and just tell me what you're up to on this day, do you have one of those essential businesses that is just now opening back up or has never closed? If you want to promote yourself, please feel free to do that. And I'm talking to you, the few people that are listening right now. This is Ashley. I know, Ashley, you've been promoting yourself quite a bit doing the photography thing. I know you have a something real. You have something that's going on right now. I actually just read on your Facebook page. So if you want to call and just give me a chit chat for a minute, and you could let me know what's going on. Hey, my main man Joseph Clements, Hollywood, DJ Hollywood. He's out there. He's in the Central Arkansas area. So if you need any DJ services, weddings especially, corporate events, that kind of thing, call on Joseph Clements. Yeah, DJ Hollywood. So, it's nice to have people out there listening, but mostly this is therapeutic for me. I think I crack this mic open and I see if I can talk for an hour and learn some stuff. Right now, I'm learning about Father's Day since it happens to be Father's Day right now. But if you want to be involved in this or you want to change the conversation, you can call me, 501-470-6386, and you could be a part of the show. Have I said that enough? Have I drilled that into your head enough? Call if you want. Don't call. I'll keep talking about Father's Day. Yeah, I'm running down the Wikipedia page, finding out more about Father's Day. President Richard Nixon signed it into law in 1972. In addition to Father's Day, International Men's Day is celebrated in many countries on November 19th for men and boys who are not fathers. I didn't even know that. See, I'm learning stuff right along with you. Probably you already knew it, but I didn't know that, so now I know. A Father's Day service was held on July 5th, 1908 in Fairmont, West Virginia, in the Williams Memorial Methodist Episcopal Church South, now known as Central United Methodist Church. Oh, okay, so Episcopal made it, Methodist Episcopal became United Methodist. How about that? Grace Golding Clayton was mourning the loss of her father when, on December 1907, there's that word again, Monongah mining disaster in nearby Monongah killed 361 men. Wow! I had no idea that Father's Day came out of all those, daddies and men's being killed in a mining disaster. 250 of them were fathers, leaving around 1,000 fatherless children. Clayton suggested to her pastor, Robert Thomas Webb, that he should honor all those fathers. Good on you. Clayton chose the Sunday nearest to the birthday of her father, Methodist minister Fletcher Golden. Clayton's event did not have repercussions outside of Fairmont for several reasons. Among them, the city was overwhelmed by other events. The celebration was never promoted outside of the town itself, and no proclamation was made in the city council. Also, two events overshadowed this event. The celebration of Independence Day, July 4th, 1908, with 12,000 attendants and several shows, including a hot air balloon event, which took over the headlines in the following days, and the death of a 16-year-old girl on July 4th. The local church and council were overwhelmed, and they did not even think of promoting the event. And it was not celebrated again for many years. The original sermon was not reproduced in press, and it was lost. Finally, Clayton was a quiet person who never promoted the event or even talked to other persons about it. Wow, through tragedy comes this celebration of dads. I mean, all these dads lost their lives way back in the early 1900s, and now we have a celebration of fathers. That's how tragedy promotes creativity. That's a way to honor those dads, and now all dads. How about that? I know Joseph Clements is a dad. Happy Father's Day. All that. Okay, as and for those that are listening to the rebroadcast, the aftermath, I record these every week on Facebook Live, my Facebook Live, Keys Dan, at 6 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to be a part of the show, you can join me. Why don't you join me at 6 p.m. Central Time on Facebook Live? And then I put them up on YouTube and put them out there on all the podcast services that I can find, which is a lot of them. I know it's been getting a lot of hits, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the people that put up with me. If you like the sound of my voice, maybe you can go on this crazy journey with me. You know, I'm not preparing anything in advance. I'm actually learning stuff right now. I know a lot of these podcasts, they write these notes out, but the internet's right there. The notes are there. If you want to learn something, you punch it up in the search bar, and bam, there it is. And while I'm learning, I might as well crack the mic open and teach somebody else who cares to join me about these things. Moving on with the Father's Day celebration and how it came to be. Clayton also may have been inspired by Anna Jarvis's crusade to establish Mother's Day. 2 months prior, Jarvis had held a celebration for her dead mother in Grafton, West Virginia, a town about 15 miles away from Fairmont. Pretty close. In 1911, Jane Addams proposed a citywide Father's Day in Chicago, but she was turned down. In 1912, there was a Father's Day celebration in Vancouver, Washington. Ooh, it's spreading. Suggested by Methodist pastor J.J. Beringer of the Irvington Methodist Church. Hey, the Methodists. Those guys are really pushing this forward. I like that. They believed mistakenly that they had been the first to celebrate such a day. They followed a 1911 suggestion by the Portland Oregonian. I guess that's a newspaper. Let me put my little hover thing. Yeah, daily newspaper based in Portland, Oregon. Harry C. Meek, member of the Lions Club International. Hey, I was a Lion before down in Key Largo. I think my grandma's still a Lion. Yeah, my 91-year-old grandma. She's still a Lion, a member of the Lions Club. How about that? They help people with glasses, I guess with poor vision. I think you donate your old glasses to the Lions Club, and they try to find somebody whose face they fit. How about that? That's the primary goal of the Lions Club, or the championing effort of the Lions Club, as far as I remember. Let's see. The Lions Club International claimed that he had first the idea for Father's Day in 1915. Meek claimed that the third Sunday of June was chosen because it was his birthday. It would have been more natural to choose his father's birthday. Hello. The Lions Club has named him originator of Father's Day. Meek made many efforts to promote Father's Day and make it an official holiday. Holiday, celebrate. The U.S. Open golf tournament is scheduled to finish on Father's Day. As we finish, as was the that's old news. That's from 2016. Firekeeper, that's good. Now, spelling. There's a little note here for spelling. In the United States, Dodd used the fathers with the apostrophe after the FATHERS apostrophe day spelling on her original petition for the holiday. But the spelling fathers, FATHER apostrophe S day, was already used in 1913 when a bill was introduced to the U.S. Congress as the first attempt to establish the holiday. Holiday. It was still spelled the same way when its creator was commended in 2008 by U.S. Congress. Yeah. So Father's Day, you pronounce it. I guess it's not father's apostrophe. It's father apostrophe S. So you're celebrating your one father, I guess, instead of celebrating all fathers. So it's very personal. I guess it becomes more personal if you do the father apostrophe S rather than the father's apostrophe, because then you'd be celebrating other people's fathers. And I celebrate other people's fathers because I'm glad you're around, because without those daddies, you wouldn't be here. Without those mamas, you wouldn't be here. But today is not Mama's Day. It's Daddy's Day. That's right. So what did you do for your daddy? Did you call your dad? Did you even contact your dad? Are you a dad? How are you celebrating? Are you lazing around the house? Are you barbecuing? Are you grilling? Are you the grill master, as some dads say? And I guess, did you get a necktie? Did you get some socks? Did you get a hug from your kids? I got a hug. Yeah, I got a hug today. I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy to get hugs from my kid. My other kid is not with me. She's all the way in Gainesville, or in that area, all the way in Florida still. And I don't get to see her all that much. I do get to FaceTime her sometimes, but I'm kind of stoked about that. But I do have my 14-year-old is in the house. My pride and joy, pouring my love into her and making her, helping to make her a better person. I know her mom does a better job of it. Her mom's got the skills to pay the bills, I'll tell you. She definitely is closer to her. But, it's because I work outside of the house. The wife works inside the house. And that's the way we've worked it out, and it seems to work very nice. I like coming home and seeing my family here in the house. So kind of a 1950s thing, one of those fathers knows best TV shows where you come home and say, "Honey, I'm home," and then you actually get an answer back. "Hey, welcome home." The wife says, "Welcome to the bubble." That's usually what she says when she comes in, or when I come in. All right. Oh, I got Dozer McDonald. He put a comment on there. Let's see what Dozer said. And I posted this on several different pages, so I don't normally see all the comments first off. Call me on your show, Dan the Man Keys. Dozer McDonald's out there watching on the Keys Dan page. I went ahead and I shared the video, but mostly I'm primarily watching it on my personal page, but I do get some notifications thanks to Facebook, and it helps to connect me with the world. So I appreciate that. Oh, Pete Trabusco, he put a like on there. Happy to have him around here. And I know a lot of these people are coming up real soon on the What Makes You Famous podcast. I'm going to do some long form interviews with them coming up real soon. And I'm very excited about that. Now, Ashley Taylor and Joseph Clements, I invite you to do the What Makes You Famous podcast. We could set up a time coming up in the near future. Well, maybe not so near. I'm kind of booked up all the way to December. So that show definitely took off. I officially started it last February of 2019, and it has since taken off. I'm doing it about 3 to 4, sometimes 5 interviews a week on the What Makes You Famous podcast, but I'm trying to limit it to 3 a week, because that's just about enough. I do them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes Thursday, but I'm trying to hold the weekends for my DJ stuff, when I get to go out and have fun with the peoples. Not that I don't have fun chit-chatting with people. I do a lot of weddings and parties and karaoke jams. So I'm very stoked about that. I guess I should mention that I'm doing a karaoke show over at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. If you're watching the video portion, you'll see one of the pictures to the side of me is me hanging out at the Rab. So I like to promote that one too. I want to make sure that keeps taking off as we break out of this novel COVID-19 coronavirus quarantine. I'm glad that the economy is starting to get back on its track. And, and the entertainers out there, I'm seeing a few of them that are chiming in on the Facebook Live. A lot of the entertainers, I guess your income probably went to near zero if you didn't have anything else. If you just bet on yourself and said, hey, I'm going to be an entertainer the rest of my life. I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. Your income went zero. And I'm glad that a lot of places are starting to open back up. The Rab in Conway, Arkansas, that's been going well. This is the 4th week that I've been over at the Rab, and I did one Saturday night over at the Choctaw VFW in Choctaw, Arkansas, and that one went extremely well. But the Rab, it feels like old times, man. We're just having a good time playing the video dance party, karaoke jam. They got the pool tournament over there. I'm so happy to see the pool players back. The full bar, kitchen is open. They always send me home with some good food, in the middle of the night. Maybe I shouldn't be eating that late, but I'm going to eat that late. They send me home, I think, most of the time they're sending me home with chicken wings, and they have some delicious chicken wings over at the Rab, I'll tell you. All this talk about food, and really I just ate. So I shouldn't be hungry, and I'm not hungry. I'm really not hungry. Let's see. On this date in history, oh man, see, you never know what you're going to get on the Keys Dan show. On this date in history, the U.S. Constitution was ratified, switching gears from Father's Day. How about that? New Hampshire becomes the 9th and last necessary state to ratify the Constitution of these United States. What date was that? June 21st. Well, I guess we'll go through it. See, like I said, I don't prepare for these things. I just look stuff up. Becomes the United States, thereby making the document the law of the land. By 1786, defects in the post-Revolutionary War Articles of Confederation were apparent, such as the lack of central authority over foreign and domestic commerce. Congress had endorsed a plan to draft a new constitution. And on May 25th, 1787, the Constitutional Convention convened at Independence Hall in Philadelphia. On September 17th, 1787, after 3 months of debate moderated by Convention President George Washington, the new U.S. Constitution, which created a strong federal government with an intricate system of checks and balances, was signed by 38 of the 41 delegates present at the conclusion of the convention, as dictated by Article 7. The document would not become binding until it was ratified by 9 of the 13 states. Beginning on December 7th, 5 states, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, and Connecticut, ratified it in quick succession. However, other states, especially Massachusetts, opposed the document, as it failed to reserve undelegated powers to the states and lacked constitutional protection of basic political rights such as freedom of speech, religion, and press. In February 1788, a compromise was reached under which Massachusetts and other states would agree to ratify the document, with the assurance that amendments would be immediately proposed. The Constitution was thus narrowly ratified in Massachusetts, followed by Maryland and South Carolina on June 21st, 1788. New Hampshire became the ninth state to ratify the document, and it was subsequently agreed that government under the U.S. Constitution would begin on March 4th, 1789. In June, Virginia ratified the Constitution, followed by New York in July. On September 25th, 1789, the first Congress of the United States adopted 12 amendments to the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and sent them to the states for ratification. 10 of these amendments were ratified in 1791. In November 1789, North Carolina became the 12th state to ratify the U.S. Constitution. Rhode Island, which opposed federal control of currency and was critical of compromise on the issue of slavery, resisted ratifying the Constitution until the U.S. government threatened to sever commercial relations with the state. On May 29th, 1790, Rhode Island voted by 2 votes to ratify the document, and the last of the original 13 colonies joined these United States. Today, the U.S. Constitution is the oldest written constitution in operation in the world. Yay! Yay, America! Yay, U.S. of A! Man, those guys were smart back then. They wrote this document, and it still lasts today. Why? Because we can amend it. Why? Because I guess there's there might be a few holes in it. There's the problems with interpretation, and I know there's fights on the left or the right whether these words or this comma means that. But for the most part, hey, our U.S. Constitution was written well. Good job. Good job, fellas. I guess the ladies weren't in on it at that point yet. But that was amended just about 100 years later. The women are now involved. Yay! And I guess it was about 70 years later, the people of color, all people are created equal, and then the women shortly followed right after. The U.S. Constitution. It's always changing, but hey, I think it's the best thing we got. I think it's been working out okay. I'm very happy to be a part of it. I'm very happy to be here in these United States as opposed to any other place in the whole wide world. I keep saying world like that. World. I know, it's world, okay? I'll use my middle American accent rather than putting inflection, especially when I say New Hampshire. Don't poke fun at people's accents. It's not poking fun. It's jokes, baby. It's jokes. I like to have fun with people. So, hey, still hanging out here. Facebook Live, recording this thing, looking up some stuff online to kind of spit out while I'm waiting for people to call, if they care to call. I know the past few weeks, I've had some good conversations with people just cracking this mic open and doing this Facebook Live. So 501-470-6386 if you care to be a part of it. If not, hey, you can just keep on listening to me ramble on for the next few minutes. Sunday, June 21st, 2020. Hey, it also happens to be World Music Day. Hey, I like music. I play music all the time. I play music for the people. But I am very jealous of the people that can actually play instruments. My instrument playing is very limited. I have instruments in the house, but I'm not very good at playing them. But I do get to play on the ones and twos, the digital wheels of steel, 2 turntables and a microphone. That's my medium of choice for playing music. Yeah. World Music Day. Let's see. Oh, there's a little quote here. Music expresses that which cannot be put into words, and that which cannot remain silent. Victor Hugo. Hey, those are some good words right there. There's nothing in the world like the sound of your favorite song coming on. It just gets right into your head and your body and makes you move. I like to move it. Or maybe it takes you on a journey to a faraway place and time where you languish in a memory of times gone by and people who are no longer present. Some of your favorite songs can lift us. Some of our favorite songs can lift us up out of depression and sorrow and make an otherwise horrible day suddenly seem like it's not so bad. It's not so bad. World Music Day celebrates music in all its forms and the impact it's had on the world and the human spirit. World Music Day is a day for everybody to enjoy. Yay! Yay! Have you ever put on your headphones? Yeah, I got my headphones on right now. Hit play on an upbeat tune and waltz down the street as if you were in a movie? You're not alone. Everybody's done it. They're just too afraid to admit it. Yeah, I've done it. I've put my headphones on and I've danced like no one's watching. Or I've danced like everyone's watching. It doesn't matter to me. I got no shame. I dance. Let's see. Music has the ability to lift your spirits, even when you don't feel like getting out of bed that day. Why shouldn't there be an entire day to celebrate the wonders of music? World Music Day needs to be celebrated far and wide, without a doubt. Next time you're in a bit of a funk, in a bit of a funk, you crank the funk. Crank up your favorite song, close your curtains, and dance like nobody's watching. No. Dance like everybody's watching. It's a soul-soothing activity that should always be your go-to savior. Do you celebrate World Music Day? Come on. You gonna dance? Dance, I say. Dance. This is the part where we dance. World Music Day is free and full of fun. Yeah. The best thing about World Music Day is that it's completely free to celebrate. No matter what kind of music you love, you can take part for free and you can get the whole family involved. It's the perfect opportunity to try playing a brand new instrument or listen to a type of music that you wouldn't normally have in your playlist. Every type of musician, whether you are young, old, or new, or a seasoned professional, can embrace World Music Day with friends, family, and even strangers. Yeah. Sing. I play music for strangers all the time, and then eventually they become friends if they keep coming around. Last year, more than 1,000 cities all over the world celebrated World Music Day. So why don't you take this opportunity to do it too? Anybody can make music. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you are the type of person who sings in the shower, why not use this opportunity to showcase your talents? Even the most tone-deaf people can take this day to sing their hearts out and celebrate the beauty and power of music. Go ahead, sing. Take it to the shower. The acoustics in bathrooms are really good for the most part. Man, I know my bathroom, it sounds like I'm a superstar in there. The echo. Now, when I do karaoke shows, I turn the echo up a little bit as needed for each singer. It kind of fills out your voice a little bit, makes you sound, hey, I'll try to make you sound like a superstar. I'll make you sound as good as I possibly can using that little echo on my mixing board. World Music Day originally launched several decades ago in France. In 1982, the Ministry of Culture in France developed a clever idea to celebrate the wonders of music. They wanted free live music to be available to everybody, no matter what their heritage or background. Usually, you have to pay for tickets to music festivals, but not with World Music Day. The many benefits of listening to music. Music is not only a fantastic creative outlet, but it also can have many health benefits. When you listen to a particular song, it can bring back a happy memory or make you feel energized. Studies suggest that listening to music can have a number of positive effects on your health and mental well-being. Yeah, I could use some of that. As well as enhancing your performance of exercise. I could use some of that. It can also provide a huge amount of comfort. Exercise has also been proven to reduce anxiety, and listening to relaxing music can also decrease stress levels. Maybe if I talk like this, it'll decrease your stress level. So if you're looking for a mood-boosting activity, why not celebrate World Music Day and let all of your troubles rush away from your mind instantly. World Music Day. The history of World Music Day. Music has existed for as long as mankind has found its voice, and quite possibly before. Every culture of the world has its own form of music, as distinct and unique as to its area as language and cuisine. In the Western world, we are familiar only with scales, known as the diatonic scale, which should be familiar to anyone who took music classes or choir in school. But this is not only or even the first scale that music can use. There's also the chromatic scale, which has 12 notes instead of the 7, and the octonic scale, which has 8 notes. But these are just the beginning. In every part of the world, there are different scales and musical formats used, and these create a form of music that has its own signature. Then, when you add in the cultural themes, the variety of instruments, and the forms of voice singing that can go along with it, music is truly an endless adventure. World Music Day celebrates this adventure and those that dare to take it. Oh, I like the music. How to celebrate Music Day? Come on. How to celebrate World Music Day? It's obvious, isn't it? All right, I'll read this. The best way to celebrate World Music Day is to spend the day listening to all your old favorites. And if you're truly feeling adventurous, start exploring YouTube for music from different cultures. You can explore Finnish and Hungarian, Italian and Mongolian, and then start digging into folk music. With sources like these, it's easier than ever to explore the panorama of musical experiences the world has to offer. And you can do it all from the comfort of your own home. Of course, you could always pick up an instrument and start adding your own voice to the choir. Now, instead of using YouTube, and I'm kind of adding this to, instead of using YouTube, use Spotify or Apple iTunes. That way the artist gets a couple pennies out of it. You know, put them on your Spotify playlist. I think they do make some bucks off of that. So yeah, this way it's mutually beneficial. You get to listen to some cool tunes, and they get a couple pennies so they can keep on making those tunes. Today is also International Yoga Day. Yeah, I like some stretching. I'll do some stretching. It's World Motorcycle Day. I used to ride motorcycles back in high school. I got in a wreck back in February 22nd, 1987. And that was probably the last time I really rode motorcycles on the street. I think I've ridden one here and there on a back lot during a promotion for the radio station down in Miami. But it's been a long time since I've been on a motorcycle. But today, World Motorcycle Day. Drive safely, drive happy. Oh, and for the kids out there, it's a selfie day. It's also selfie day. So I encourage you to do like I did. Look at my Instagram, my Keys Dan Instagram. I have my selfies out there. So I celebrated Selfie Day, Sunday, June 21st, 2020. And it's Optimism Day. If you haven't noticed by now, I'm pretty much an optimist. I think things are going to work out just fine eventually. You know, time heals all wounds, all that kind of thing. So I guess today is my day. It's Optimism Day. So keep smiling. You know, even if you're in a bit of pain or you have a bit of sorrow in your life, eventually time will heal all wounds. Especially, I mean, shoot, we're in this time right now. 2020 was supposed to be the year of clarity, and here it is. It feels like the whole world's falling apart sometimes. But I think we're going to get it back together. You know, this little virus isn't gonna kill us all. You know, there's now I'm hearing discussions from both sides of the fence, both sides of the aisle, where, you know, are masks good for you? Are masks bad for you? I guess if you change your mask often enough, it won't harm you. If you care, I mean, if you want me to wear a mask in your establishment, yeah, I'll wear a mask for you, no problem. Happy to do it. I'm not going to wear the same dirty mask all day long or several days at a time, you know, because that's bad for me. I'm sure I'm holding all kinds of germs in there if I try to wear this mask all day or several days in a row without cleaning it. So, yeah, I'm not going to do that. But, yeah, I mean, we're taking precautions. We know that there's this this COVID-19 virus out there that has no cure, no treatment just yet, but I don't think it's going to get us all. But I'm celebrating today. It's a holiday. It is Father's Day. And I do have my little fishies on. If you're watching the video version, you'll see that there's little fishies behind me swimming around, and they make me feel good. They calm me down. I like fish tanks. That's how I meditate. I kind of look at fishies and kind of think about the fish and just watch them swimming around, and it makes me feel good. Yeah. Who else has got fish tanks out there that watches the fish and kind of just, it's very soothing. I have my Roku box out there on the big wall, and the default screensaver is the fishies. And sometimes I'll just sit and watch the fish rather than actually check out a show on one of my streaming services. I'll just watch the fish for a little bit and kind of meditate on that. Breathe in, breathe out. So little fishies in a little tank, they make me feel good. Who else? Who else out there? Anyone? Maybe it's only me. I'm sure it's not only me. I'm sure I'm not the only one that looks at fish tanks and has a good time with them. Well, I mean, it seems like nobody's watching the live version of this right now, but if you're listening to the rebroadcast, I appreciate that so much. Make sure you like and subscribe and all that kind of thing, and maybe you can be a part of the Keys Dan show on Sunday nights, 6 p.m. Central Time on my Facebook page, Keys Dan. Just look it up. I mean, it's written right there. Keys Dan, it's everywhere. I think I branded that name pretty well. And also, I mean, if you're so inclined, if you want to hear the stories of others or tell your own story, you can join me on the What Makes You Famous podcast. Give me a call at 501-470-6386, and we could set up a time, and you could tell your story any way you want. You could promote yourself. You could talk about how you became who you are. Everybody's got a story. I mean, as soon as you're born, you start to get experiences. You start to gather those experiences, and then you formulate them into a story. And don't worry. A lot of people go, oh, what kind of questions are you going to ask me? I never know what I'm going to ask you before time. I think the first question I'm going to ask you is, hey, how you doing? Tell the people who you are. That's pretty much how I've been starting most of those What Makes You Famous podcasts, is give a little blurb of who you are, and then away we go. That's it makes for fine conversation, and rather than question and answer, Q&A interviews. I mean, you see Q&A interviews all the time, but I think podcasts, people that listen to podcasts, people that do podcasts, the best thing is just to have a conversation, a getting to know you conversation. And then if you want to come back on after a little bit of time has passed and you have something new to talk about, I invite you back on. I like it. I like it when we catch up. It's like old friends getting back together. And then, I record these conversations, and if anybody wants to listen to them, that's great. If not, hey, we had a good conversation. That's a wonderful thing. It's good to have real conversations with people and chit-chat with people rather than talking or looking at your phone or your electronic devices all day long. No, I mean, this reminds me of the days when I was on terrestrial radio, and it would be just me, especially when I was doing the evening shows, and then it was just me in the whole building. I would come in, open the door, maybe the afternoon drive guy would leave about 7 o'clock, and then I would have the show from 7 o'clock maybe till midnight, and it was pretty much just me in a room just like this, talking to myself or talking into a microphone. If anybody was listening, that's great. And the way they showed me that they were listening was they would drop me some comments. On my, I would always have. I guess as time progressed, I would have some kind of a chat room opened up so people can interact with me. But in the early days, it was the phone. If you wanted to call and give me a chit chat while I was on the air, that was part of it too. You became a part of the experience. It became interactive back in '86 when I started on the radio, and that was college radio. So I would have three or four kids in their dorm rooms just listening to whatever I felt like playing, stuff that was just that came across my table that day, and I happened to listen to it and I go, that's pretty good. I remember one time I got handed a record of Midnight Oil, Beds Are Burning. They said, hey, play this song. I said, I've never heard it. Is it good? Yeah, it's real good. Put it on. I put it on the air. Didn't even listen to it. I wanted to experience something new right along with everybody else out there that was listening to my 1,000-watt stick, which was pretty good in Fort Lauderdale. 1,000 watts in the area that I was in. I think it was in South Plantation. South Plantation, close to Fort Lauderdale. There was, with 1,000 watts, you can hit a lot of ears. 88.5 WKPX, 88.5. I remember that. The new sounds for the new you. It was so good. But, I mean, that was my first experience with radio. And I would just be there in the room by myself with my two turntables. I mean, this one time was when somebody just handed me this record, and I played it. It was great. But those were the days. And then, as time progressed, I've worked for mom and pop radio stations where they just owned one station. And I like those because you have a lot more autonomy, a lot more freedom. But then, as corporations, and I think we've already mentioned the capitalism, as corporations start to buy radio stations to try to make more and more and more revenue, then the autonomy starts to go by the wayside. Maybe the corporate will have one person as the music director for several stations, sometimes hundreds of stations, and that's what you're playing. That you're not veering from that format too much at all, if at all. Because I remember, working for one of the bigger radio stations, one of the bigger corporations that owns a lot of radio stations. I had a playlist, and it was there right in front of me. The only thing I could do maybe was move up and down one of the songs on the playlist. Oh, I want to play that one before I play this one. So I was able to do it that way. And every once in a while, I would ask for a little autonomy, a little leniency. If I had a new song that I wanted to play that I thought the people needed to hear, I was able to play that for the people. And I was given one or two songs an hour that I was able to play. And I gave it up to those new artists that I was able to promote. I'd like to promote people because, I mean, it's nice. And now I have, Radio What. It's sitting behind me. If you're watching the video, that's the Radio What online station, radiowhat.com. And I get submissions daily. So many submissions daily. And in fact, I just added another 20 brand new songs on the playlist, and I put them in my new artist file. So I have it running to where it has music from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. There's some dance songs, there's some rock songs, and there's the new artist songs. I play about 2 new artists per hour, and this way they get a little promotion. Also, it tweets out on my Radio What Twitter, so they get a little promotion. I mean, that's, one of the main things that I got into radio was not just because I liked music a lot, but it was also to promote people, and that's pretty much what I've been doing my whole life is in some kind of promotion. And, people pay me to be at their place and promote their place, and I get a little bit of cash to keep my family going, and you get a little bit of promotion, and it's mutually beneficial. So I get that. I like it a lot. Let's see, somebody else liking one of the things. I'm looking at my Facebook feed, seeing what they were liking. Oh, okay. But as I wind down this Keys Dan show, I know I've talked about a lot of things. Sometimes it's just me, clearing my head of things. And if you like the sound of my voice, hey, come along this journey with me. But you could be a part of the show. That's the whole point. Is I want you to be a part of this. I want to promote you. I've already talked about the people that have commented And if you're looking at the video version of this on YouTube, you'll see their comments living forever on the video version. And my little fishies in the background. I picked little fishies today because it makes me feel good. And I'm wearing my Hawaiian shirt because it's a holiday. It's Father's Day. But, my main thing is on these Keys Dan Show Facebook Lives that I do on Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Central Time. I want you to be a part of the show. I want you to call in. I have my phone tied into this Rode mixing board that has made my podcast life so much easier. If you want to learn how to make a podcast, give me a call. I'll teach you. I'll teach you everything I know, which isn't much, but hey, I've learned a lot over the last year. The first podcast was on my phone with a lavalier mic, and it sounded okay. I mean, it was after a live show. I said, hey, let me start this podcast. And then after that was bringing this big mixing board with me over to the local music shop and Palmer Music. And I did the podcast with Ryan Hinman. I think that's the first long form podcast that I did on this What Makes You Famous podcast. In fact, I need to get together with Ryan Hinman real soon. He's got a guitar that my grandma gave me, and I'm now going to give to my 14-year-old because she's the musician in the family, I'll tell you. But my grandma had this guitar that she got in Spain. Had to be back in the 50s. Well, a long time ago. And it wasn't in the best shape. It wasn't in terrible shape, but it wasn't in the best shape. So I took it over to Palmer Music, and I had my buddy Ryan Hinman put it back together. And then the world took a dump. So I didn't have any extra money to get it out of there. But now, thankfully the Rab is opened back up, and I got a little bit of extra cheese, and I'm going to go over there and get my guitar and pass it along to my daughter, and maybe she will learn how to play a song and play a song for my grandma, her great-grandma, who is still around, still kicking, still doing her thing. I like it. I like it a lot. So yeah, I guess I got to get over there. Note to self. He says note to self, but then he says it to potentially millions of people out there listening. All right. I guess that's it for me. I've gone about an hour here on the Keys Dan Show. Join me throughout the week. I usually record my podcast Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'll post them directly afterwards. I have some podcasts lined up for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I think I have one for Thursday as well over in the UK. I wanted to do it early enough to where it wasn't so late for them. I did one last week with some boys in the UK, and they were young enough. So, I mean, it was 7:30 my time, but I think it was like 1:30 in the AM their time. And they did good. They did real good. That was the Modern Society UK. That's one of the more recent podcasts that I have on the feed of the What Makes You Famous hashtag What Makes You Famous. It was a little bit late for them. So I'm mindful of people's time. So I usually I'm doing the What Makes You Famous podcast Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but this one I'm going to go ahead and make an exception and do it at 11 in the AM on Thursday morning. That way I think it's 6 hours ahead, so it's probably around 5 p.m. their time. So yeah, that should be a good one. All right, party people. Well, if I haven't promoted myself enough, I'm going to do it one more time. If you'd like to tell your story or hear the stories of others, I encourage you to check out my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. Also, if you'd like to fill your brain with knowledge, usually if I don't have anything else out, I'll at least do the 10 things you need to know today. That's 10 news items that are procured for me and sent to my email, and then I spit them out on the mic and record them and let you have that knowledge in your head as well. So that's 10 things you need to know today. And then that's on the What Makes You Smarter podcast, hashtag What Makes You Smarter. And then, of course, at least once a week, the Keys Dan Show. Hey, who knows? Sometimes I might crack this mic open and you'll have another Keys Dan show sometime during the week. Oh, I did do something kind of interesting last night. I have this XSplit Gamecaster. So I went to Steam, which is, I guess, the most popular online gaming tool that's out there right now. And I downloaded a Mech Warrior game and a battle game, a couple of Mech Warrior games where you're pretending to be a guy that's dressed up in a mech suit and going off to save the world. Well, I downloaded those, and then I used that Gamecast, that XSplit, to give myself a live. So if you look at my Keys Dan Facebook, you'll see where it went horribly, horribly wrong. One of the cool things is I had Clinton Stanley show up, and he's a real online gamer. That guy really knows his stuff, and he's got a podcast called Delirious Dad's Gaming, and he'll do some videos. In fact, he did a video after I was done. I did about 30 minutes where I was just, pretty much just sacrificing myself, getting shot, getting shot for the people. I didn't do well in this game at all, but it was fun to try to do this new thing, gaming online. Who knows? I downloaded some software. I might put it up on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook and other platforms at the same time. So look for that. This old man trying to figure out new video games. Man, I was really good at playing Atari 2600 back in the day. I was really good at it. I wasted whole Saturdays playing Defender and stuff. But hey, that's a little bit of a spoiler. If you happen to see that video on my Facebook feed, you'll hear all about it. All right, party people. That's it for me for this edition of the Keys Dan Show. It's your old pal in the air chair, Keys Dan, with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.